Mary had a question regarding pillows and sleeping positions. And this is very much in line with what we're working on this week. If we're working on the quality of sleep, making sure that you're resting well, of course, we want to also make sure that you have a sleeping position that is supportive. So, here's the best way to check yourself. Remember that whatever tensions you have throughout the day, they come to bed with you. So, in order to be able to rest, you kind of need to bolster yourself up. You need to support yourself up where you already are. So, the first thing we're going to check is head and neck position. So, you're going to just straighten your body, find a firm floor, and just lay down. And without adjusting anything, see what the position of your head is. Very often, if there's tension in the upper back and neck, you see people just lay on the floor, and you can see this in the gym all the time. People are doing their exercise and their chin is up, and it's almost like you're looking behind yourself. So if it's a challenge for you to just be able to relax with your neck long and relax at the base of your skull, then you need a pillow in bed. That's one thing for your head. The second thing is checking your pelvis. So you're going to bend your knees. You're going to place a hand on your pubic symphysis. This is this bottom bone of the pelvis. And then here on each side, you have these protruding bones, the ASIS. We call them the wings. So get on your back, check the wings of the pelvis, and check your pubic symphysis. And you want to make sure they're in one plane relative to the ceiling. They're neither kind of tipped back, right, where your pubic symphysis is higher than your ASIS. Neither your ASIS is higher than your pubic symphysis, right? You don't want your low back arched or your low back pushed in. You want to be neutral. From this position, without changing anything, hopefully, straighten your legs out. When you straighten your legs out, if your pelvis starts to tip forward and come forward, so your pubic symphysis goes lower, that means that it would be very helpful to have something under your knees when you go to bed. The third thing you're going to check is you're going to check how high are your shoulders off the ground. A lot of people, when they lay on the floor, their shoulders, and mine including, tend to be a little bit high off the floor. But for a lot of people, it can be even higher. The more of this kind of shoulders forward position you have in life, the more when you're on the floor, they kind of tend to be off. And oftentimes it can be just one, right? You're laying on the floor, one shoulder sitting up, but the other one not. That means that it's a good idea to support under the arms when you sleep. So just in this plane, let's look at those adjustments. So picture that you're in bed and you want to have a pillow. These are just our floor pillows here that I'm using for the video, but have a pillow that supports your head in a way that it's not back. It's more neutral, but not so high that it'll tuck your chin under and shorten the front of the neck. You want to make sure that the front of the neck can be long so that you can breathe. That's super important. So that's how you choose the height of your pillow. This is super tall for me. I'll probably sleep with something much, much lower. Or you can even roll up a towel and sleep with that. Now, how do you support the arms? You need to figure out a way to have something under the arm, right? So that if you have this rolled up forward shoulder, when you lay in bed, the arm isn't weighing back down on the shoulder. But you can kind of keep this alignment here, right? So this would be kind of the supported arm if this is your more forward shoulder, or you can support yourself on both sides if you are symmetrical. And then for under the knees, that's probably the most popular one. Like if you go to a massage, there's a little bend in the knee there so that the legs can be supported and there's no torque on the pelvis and no pressure on the low back. For your side sleeping, if you tend to sleep more on your side, you are going to need a slightly higher pillow, and that'll ensure that there's kind of this length here between your head and your shoulder. And also, especially for women, having a pillow between the knees is very, very beneficial, especially if your pelvis is a little bit wider. So those would be the main changes that I would make. In general, for belly sleepers, I am not a big fan of belly sleeping, um, mostly because the population that I work with tends to be um, either a population with neck pain or low back pain, and that seems to not be supportive. But if you love sleeping on your belly, considering a pillow under your pelvis, maybe kind of like pelvis, top of the pelvis, almost covering your belly a little bit, maybe a very, very good idea as well. And here, one leg to the side or legs parallel, whatever works for you. But this will kind of make sure that your low back stays a bit more open. Again, I'm not a big fan of it, but if you're always a belly sleeper, that may be what works best for you. And just bear in mind that you bolster yourself in bed because you have all these things that you carry with you from the whole day. But ideally, you'd be working on whole day, whole body movement, walking, being outside, taking breaks, mobilizing the upper back and the neck, making sure that you have enough length in your torso muscles, making sure that your breath is optimal so that you're not taking these tensions with you from life to bed and then trying to figure out how to bolster yourself in bed when ideally you'd just be working on your daily patterns and take the tension out of your daily life so that you can go to bed on a flat surface and that is comfortable for you. And that's it. I hope it was helpful, Mary, and everyone else watching.